What's up, what's up, guys? Welcome to the latest edition of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, Sim Football Critic, and we're about to get right into it. And as you guys know, each and every week, give me a few seconds, guys, as I, send out the tweet. Not the tweet, I keep saying tweet, but as I send the actual link to a few special people, and then we'll go ahead and get it cracking. So give me just a moment, and we shall get it started. How's everybody doing so far, man? How you guys doing tonight? Hope everybody is well. Got a few things to talk about, and I'm also going to rely on you guys to talk about a few things as well. And, see what you guys have to say. See if you guys have any calls. If you want to come on and give your 2 cents, we definitely want to do that. So let me send out the message here really quick. Give me a second. Send the link to a few special folks, and then we shall get a rolling. And y'all know how we do each and every week, man. I'm going to do my roll call really quick for a few of the first time, the first viewers, first guys up in here. And then we shall get it cracking. All right, one second. Here we come, guys. Here we come. All right. So the tweet is sent. The text is sent. Let's go ahead and make it happen. And let me see what you guys got going on so far. Let's see who already is up in here. Trey Briggs, Mr. Winners, Nays, JJ Walker. I feel the need of speed. I feel the need for speed. Patrick Covington Jr., Obi-Wan, Lance Watson, Vista Light, Rail Fax, Eli, Jay Vega, Anthony Sloan, 2 Kid, Rolling Young is in the building as well. And there you have it. That's who we have already so far up in here. I'm sure more of you guys will be, filtering in as we keep it rolling, as we get it going. All right, so let's go ahead and get it cracking, man. Now, let me adjust the light a little bit, make sure you guys can see me. Yep, there we go. All right, so where do we want to start, man? Let's talk a little bit about, let me see, what I got in the lineup. Let's see. And as you guys can see, man, just to let y'all know, I put a few topics down in the description, but I really want to leave it open for you guys to throw some topics at me, anything you want me to talk about. So there's a couple things I will hit on. And then again, like I said, I will lean on you guys to see what you guys prefer me to talk about. There's Kenyon in the building as well. And of course, if you want to call, man, the phone queue is open. Phone number is right there on the screen, but I will read it to you guys as well. Area code 619-924-0818. Go ahead and give a call. We'll give you a few minutes to get whatever you have off your chest. Ask a question, vent, say hello, say goodbye, whatever it is you want to do. All right, so the first thing let's talk about, man, Mike Tomlin confirms, I don't know if you guys heard his recent conference. He speaks to the media, both him and Colbert around this time, after they've pretty much hit some of the major, pro days, and I know they got some more pro days that are coming up, but they basically, they're at the owners' meetings and they give their little 2 cents as far as what's going on, things that they're talking about. Of course, Tomlin with the competition committee and things like that. But there's a few nuggets. I won't give them away. I want you guys to go do your homework, go listen to the his interview yourself, and take what you want to take from that. And the next time we come on, maybe you guys can share with me what you felt about some of the things he said. But one of the things that he did actually confirm, what we talked about earlier in the year, that Keith Butler, yes, Keith Butler will be coaching the outside linebackers. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. We talked about this early in the year. Right after the season, we noticed nobody else was being let go of their duties. You know how the Steelers do. They generally like to allow guys to play out, their contract. Talking about coaching, you very rarely do you see the Steelers just straight up fire someone. They usually just don't renew the contract. So I wasn't on the train of thinking that Keith Butler would be let go. Did I want to see him possibly let go to see if the Steelers wanted to shake it up and try something new? I wouldn't have mind that. But also, again, we talked later on in the year, man, as we started looking more at the statistics, the Steelers defense did actually improve. They went from back in 2015 being the 20th or 21st defense all the way up to the 5th ranked defense a year before last, and then this past season, the 6th ranked defense. Now, we all know where our areas of concern are. Situational football, okay? That has to fall on Keith Butler. You could definitely put some of that on Mike Tomlin, and you definitely got to put a good amount of that as well on the players. We have to improve there. Situational football as far as decision making and how we play, certain situations, 3rd and 20 down in New Orleans, things like that. Okay, but overall, the defense did improve, but it still seems to show its ugly head, rear its ugly head at the wrong times. And that's why most of us feel like our defense is not good, which in reality, if you look around the league, they are pretty solid. Okay, but that's neither here or there. I guess my point of saying all of that is I wasn't expecting Keith Butler to be relieved of his duties, but this is interesting. I still want to know, what is Teryl Austin's responsibility going to be? Tomlin touched a little bit on that, referencing his title and referencing that he's had, he's sniffed at opportunities of being a head coach. And he talked about, things that he has in his resume that might even help him out with clock management and things of that nature. But it still makes me wonder, if you look at his title, which I believe his title is still senior assistant, it makes me wonder, is he really going to be the guy that's putting more of an imprint on the defense or lending more of a hand? Because we still don't know the exact extent of what Austin will be doing. We know Bradley is, the secondary coach. He was. Now bringing in, Austin, it was basically said and speculated that they would split the duties with the secondary. Maybe now it seems like as if Austin, and I heard Steelers Depot say this as well, that Austin might be the guy that deals with the cornerback specifically, and maybe Bradley deals with the safeties. I don't know. Excuse me. But we'll have to see. It just makes me believe that maybe Teryl Austin will have more of an imprint on the defense in terms of coordinating, along with Tomlin having more of his finger on the pulse of the defense. We'll see. It's just very interesting, man, to see that you hire that type of guy to assist. We have to always pay attention to that, to assist in the defensive effort. That sounds like you're going to do something a little different, or you're going to allow some duties to be placed in other places. So, again, no surprise there. Butler will be coaching the outside linebackers. And, again, maybe Butler will focus more on that, since that's primarily, been his hey, when he was with the Steelers as a linebacker coach. I'm not mad at that. So, we shall see. But, again, I want you guys to go listen to the interview yourself. You can definitely find it on Steelers.com. And what's up, Debbie? I just happened to peek over and I see Debbie said hello. So how you doing, Debbie? The resident lady, of the Steelers report here, or the Terrible Towel Tuesday. She always comes in, drops some knowledge on us, and she's very knowledgeable. So we always appreciate her perspective. But anyway, moving on. We're gonna get to the Ben Roethlisberger thing last. Let me check the phone queue. We have one call in queue. 267 is in queue. I'm gonna come to you right here in a moment. Let me hit this other topic real quick, and then 267, I'll come to you. Artie Burns. I want to talk a little bit about Artie Burns, man. It's going to be a tough off-season and season for Artie Burns if he makes the squad. It's funny, man. Listen, I always tell you guys to make sure you go out and listen to as many areas and resources that you can to learn more information about the Steelers. Of course, we have a good time here. Some of you guys have shared with me that this is one of your favorite places, to get Steelers information and have Steelers conversation. I'm very humbled by that. I appreciate that. But at the same time, guys, we got to get out here and do our research. Listen, I'm not a journalist. I'm trying to learn how to cover the Steelers a little more. So I listen to, valuable or reliable resources, or not just reliable resources. I listen to guys who strike a chord with me. Can't listen to everybody. You can't listen to all of the media people and all of the pundits, but I live and die by guys like Steelers Depot. I ride for them. They give great information, both Dave Bryan and Alex Kazor, Matthew Marksey, everybody that they got over there working. I listen to them religiously, as well as I read their content. And there's some other sites that I check out as well. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I definitely check out Ed Bouchette and guys like that, and Jerry Dulac, and guys like that. But basically what I'm saying is I pick a couple places where I like to dig and find information. And shout outs to Steelers Depot, man, because they brought up an interesting stat on Artie Burns that I had no idea about. First and foremost, Artie Burns is going to have it very tough on him. Even Tomlin mentions that as well. I have it in my notes there in that interview. It was basically, I'm going to paraphrase here, but the interviewer, Missy Matthews from SteelersLive.com basically asked Tomlin, was he a little disappointed in the lack of production or just, Artie Burns in general? And he said no. He basically said no, not a little disappointed. I am disappointed. He was very candid in basically saying, oh, I'm very disappointed in this guy's performance. Why is that a very important piece? We very rarely hear Mike Tomlin go that strong at a player in public. He was making a statement. He made it known that no, it ain't a little bit. I am definitely disappointed. It's going to be tough for Artie Burns. Let me read y'all this stat, man. They did some research and it said that in Artie Burns' 3-year career, and keep in mind, Artie Burns didn't play full-time his first year. Artie Burns has acquired 33 defensive penalties, or 33 total penalties. Listen to what I'm saying, man. In 3 years, 33 penalties in his career, 11 of which being pass interference. That is not good. 33 total penalties, and 11 of them coming from pass interference. And we know we've seen where he's had some defensive holdings. Not good, man. It's going to be very tough for Artie Burns. I think the Steelers will draft a corner somewhere. They may even go first round. We never know how the first round is going to go. But it's going to be interesting. I don't even know if he will make the squad. We'll see. He's still cheap. But listen, man. It comes to a point where sometimes you have to cut your ties, cut your losses. Clearly, Sean Davis has progressed a little more than Artie Burns. Sean Davis isn't great, or we haven't seen greatness from him. I think his best season was last year as the free safety, so there's promise there. Artie Burns, don't know. But let's take the caller real quick, man, and then I'll come back in and I'll dive into the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about here tonight. Area 267, we coming to you right about now. 267, what you got, man? What's going on tonight? Hello, 267.
Area 267, we coming to you
267. All right, it sounds like I'm a little behind in terms of the stream. I can hear it on your side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep you muted here for a second. I'm going to come right back to you. All right, I'll give you a little time to catch up. Make sure you mute on your side. Oh, he disconnected. So 267, if you're listening, call back. Only thing I need you to do is mute your side so it's not echoing in the background. And yeah, you've called before, I believe. I recognize the area code as if there's only one 267 in the world. But I think that's the same 267 who calls. So if you're listening, man, and you hear me call back, I'll get you in. My bad that we couldn't connect right there. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, man. Moving right. Oh, there he is. There's 267. Let's go ahead and grab 267 right now. Oh, it just hung up again. Not sure what's happening there, folks, but we'll come back to the calls in a minute. So we're moving right along, guys. I don't try not to stay on too long. I got obligations here in the home and the wife and the kids, so moving right along. So let's talk about the meat and potatoes, man, of what I want to tackle here tonight. Somebody said they don't think it's connecting. Well, the Hawk, you were on there. You were definitely on there. So hopefully I can get you back here in a moment. Kenyon, man, I just saw one of Kenyon's comments. He said, yeah, I've seen David Long, and I do not love Bush Eli. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that too, man, later on in the call. So let me speed through this really, really quick, guys. Okay, what kind of leader is Ben Roethlisberger? That is the question. Again, if you guys want to call and give your thoughts, area code 619-924-0818. Please feel free to call and share your thoughts on this topic. This is where I'm going to go with it. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about Le'Veon Bell. Does anybody else find it strange that Le'Veon Bell went out of his way to say that, well, Ben Roethlisberger was a factor in him, his decision and what have you, and He said it wasn't an entire factor, which I'm glad he's honest about that, but he said it was a factor, and, you know, just basically, you know, adding on to the pile of the dirt or dust that's being thrown on Ben Roethlisberger. My only question to Le'Veon is that necessary? I mean, you're gone. You're signed to somebody else. What was the point of that? Why are you living in the past? Here's the other caveat about that. What if we would have got a deal done with you? Suppose the Steelers would have offered him the same, you know, guaranteed money or more than what he actually got. He would still be on the team right now. So, you see what I'm saying? It couldn't have been that much of a factor. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, what was the point of saying all that? Now you're out the door. I just felt like, you know, it was unnecessary. Again, you're free to say what you want. You know, the question was asked in the interview, but I think he could have took more of the high road in that situation. Again, I'm not blaming him. I don't know him personally. Just giving my thoughts. I don't understand the point of that. However, the reason why I'm saying all that, I'm going to tie my points together here. There's Le'Veon Bell and there's Antonio Brown that we're hearing that Roethlisberger isn't the best leader. Okay, we've heard this for a while. Emmanuel Sanders said the same thing when he left. You know, he didn't really trash Ben, but he basically said, you know, Ben got some ways with him. I had a good time when I was there, but he's not like Peyton Manning. Okay, fair. Okay, Hines Ward has had criticism of Ben Roethlisberger. Again, not trashing him, but had criticism. That's all fair. And this is what I find interesting. Look at all the players now that are coming to Ben's defense. Okay, obviously the offensive line. You never heard any of these guys say anything like that. And again, let's not be naive. I know it's a game. You know, you give what you get. You know what I'm saying? Or get what you give, however that phrase goes. I understand that. But here's the thing that cracks me up a little bit. So you get the offensive linemen who speak highly of Ben. You got Juju who comes out, speaks highly of him, and kind of counters some of the things that Antonio Brown said. Here's the funniest piece, though. Did y'all see who else said Ben Roethlisberger was a great leader just this week? James Harrison. James Harrison, who has been very critical of the Steelers organization, Tomlin, and others. And he even comes out and says, look, you know, I think he is a great leader. So here's what I come up with. Here's what I come up with, guys. Oh, and Josh Harris. Yeah, you know, thanks, Tony. I saw that. He came out and said what he said about the fumbling. And here's the interesting thing about it. This is how I feel about this whole situation. 919, I'm going to come to you here in just a moment. Just hold tight. I've come to the conclusion that Ben Roethlisberger is a competitor. He seems to gravitate to guys who feeds into the way he likes to do things. Ben Roethlisberger has favorites. And maybe if your personality or the way you do things doesn't line up with his, he kind of shies away from you. That's what it appears to be. I don't know Ben. I don't play for the Steelers. I'm not in the locker room. But on the outside looking in, that's what it appears to be. It doesn't appear that Ben Roethlisberger is a horrible teammate or a horrible leader. However, if he's not cool with you, or if he don't vibe with you, or if he has a personal thing about you, then he's not going to reciprocate that type of leadership to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because let's look at his whole career. You know, obviously he was a good teammate to Jerome Bettis, and him being young obviously played a role in that. I'm sure he was a good teammate of Hines Ward. That's why you never really heard Hines Ward trash Ben. He just had his fair criticism. Same thing with Ryan Clark. He hasn't trashed Ben. He just had his fair criticism of some of the things he does. Roethlisberger is also, again, the type of guy that's going to throw you under the bus in a passive-aggressive way, right? Again, I think Roethlisberger has an issue of when he's feeling you. But when he has an issue, his lack of leadership in this area where he doesn't hold that in and handle things one-to-one on a personal level. You know, no, he rather spew it out in public, passive aggressiveness, and that's the problem. Ben Roethlisberger sits right in the middle. It's like a seesaw. I don't think he's the worst leader in the world, but I don't think he is a super duper leader in all areas of his character, his behavior, leading by example, etc., etc. But in other ways, he does lead by example. Again, I think it's a clear case of if I rock with you, I rock with you. If I don't, I don't. That's how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger. That's how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger. And it's just that simple. So there you have it. You know, I think he's just the kind of leader that, you know, everybody ain't going to get the same leadership. He's going to do it his way. And if you cool with that and he can mesh with you, we're cool. But if not, if there's anything that he doesn't rock with, or even on a personal level, I think Ben is that type of guy. He might peep guys from a distance and say, I don't really like how he does this. I don't like this part of his personal life, da-da-da-da-da. And he internalizes that. And to me, that's not a great leader. A great leader takes charge of everybody, even if they don't like you. You know, listen, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but you most of you guys work somewhere, right? You know, some of us are self-employed, you know, but I actually do work somewhere. Do you like every single person that you ever worked with? No. But you conduct yourself and treat everybody the same for the most part at that job. You know, I'm always looked at as a leader in my field because I'm like this with everybody. Even the people that I might not necessarily rock with on a personal level, they would never know it because I still treat everybody the exact same. And that's my point. That's a real leader. So that's all I'm saying about Ben Roethlisberger. I'm going to get to the call right here. Wow. We have a ton of calls in the queue, so let's get to them. And keep it short, guys. A couple minutes, and then we'll have to go to the next one. First up, area code 919. You are live, 919. What you got for us tonight? Hello, hello, hello. 919. Can you hear me?
Hey, yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, man. Basically, man. Yeah. I think it's delayed.
Yeah, it might be a little delayed. If you're listening to the show at the same time, it's probably a little delayed. All right, we're going to come back to you, man. Hold tight. Area code 909. 909, can you hear me? Hello, 909. I don't know, guys, what's happening tonight, man. Area code 412. 412, you live. Can you hear me? Don't know what's happening, guys. 412.
Yo.
Yes, sir. You there?
Yo.
Hold on. All right, guys, hold on. Give me a second, man. I'm going to hang up and call back in. Hold on. Let's see. Give me a second. All right, good people. Let's try this again. Area code 919. Can you hear me? 919.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, great. Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what was going on there, man.
All right, yeah. But no, this JJ, man. Basically, man, I just you know, from what everybody's been saying about Ben, you know, he's not a great leader, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what AB and Le'Veon's really point was that you can't walk around as if, you know, you're above everybody else, right? Like we've all been a part of football teams before, and we know usually the quarterback has a direct line to the coach and things. They have, they're up there above the team. But you can't walk around as the quarterback acting like that because the team already knows that. So when you walk around acting like that and having a mentality of, yeah, I'm above y'all, you better listen to me, all this other type stuff, and I can call you out whenever I want to because I feel entitled to do so because of what I've done, that's going to rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And especially when you have superstars on your team like Le'Veon and AB, and they're like, hold on, we get that you're the quarterback and you won 2 Super Bowls, but you can't walk around like you're entitled to say anything and do anything you want. You can't go on a media and say I did this and say I did that wrong. And it's like, yo, I think it's just a relationship problem. We get you're above everybody else, but at the same time, you're a part of this team.
Right.
So you have to correlate with us, in a way where we feel comfortable with you, and not as if we do something wrong, oh man, he about to go out and tell the media something that I did wrong, Instead of just saying coming in private, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just coming in private and saying, yo, look, I need you to do this, do that, then it'll work better. Especially with superstars like Le'Veon and AB, because they're going to be like, well, look, I'm important to this team too. So I know I ain't the only one that did something wrong, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a matter of that, man. And, other players like Ryan Clark and Hines Ward, they said similar things to that as, he's not a natural leader. So I just think all in all, it's just some things that Ben has to clean up. Now, if he's willing to, I don't know. But I just think in terms of leadership, there's some things that could be worked on his part.
Man, I fully agree, man, and I'm glad you were able to get in on the call. Appreciate the call, JJ. We're going to have to move on to the next callers. We got like 6 calls in the queue, guys, so keep it short. But let me say this really, really quick. If you are calling in, there may be a delay on your end if you're listening to the show at the same time on your device or what have you. What you probably want to do if you're on your computer, iPad, or what have you is mute the show and just listen in on the phone. You understand what I'm saying? So just listen in to on your way you're calling so you can hear me live, in real time instead of listening to the broadcast. Does that make sense? All right, let's move on, man. Area code 412. 412, you live. Can you hear me?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? What up, Nays? What you got, man?
My name's Sean.
What's up?
Just calling in from Pittsburgh. Figured I'd call in. Been a while.
What you think about Roethlisberger, man?
I think Ben is not a vocal leader, not a loud leader. Someone leads more by action than barking orders at people. And then I think it was Bullen commented that he doesn't really care what not paid players think because they could be gone or their attitudes might change after they get their contract, kind of like AB's did. And I think he might have a little bit of maybe he can read people after dealing with sports players for so long, who's a little more selfish and who's a little bit more team-oriented, and maybe that's why he rubs people the wrong way. Like, he rubbed Emmanuel Sanders. Apparently he rubbed Josh Harris the wrong way. But who's the Big Ben? Hines Ward. Hines Ward is a vocal, real person to your face. So him saying something to you, like, or about Ben, like you said, there's nothing wrong with it. He's just being, I guess he has the right to be critical of Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hines is an all-pro, all-time Steeler, so what he has to say means something. Same with James Harrison, and I just think that, I know it's a dumb saying, but haters are going to hate, and ain'ters are going to ain't. And those haters just want to talk shit. And, if I were in their positions, I would maybe say, saying someone's a bad leader isn't even the proper verbiage when you're trying to say that. You either are a leader or you aren't. So if you're a poor leader, you're just not a leader. And I think Ben is a good leader, but only takes into consideration, like I think it was Roland said, the paid players that want to be there. And I don't think there's a lot of Steelers that have been like that in the past couple of years. We've had a lot of selfishness. And I don't know if that's even the right way to describe it, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like real Steelers, like James Ferrier, Hines Ward, silent leaders like Aaron Smith and the defensive line. We don't have a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, not to take away from Cam Hayward, he's a true captain and leader of the team. He's a vocal, I will grab you by your face and I will drag you to do what you have to do. And I just think Big Ben's like, if you don't want to be a part of it, man, don't be a part of it. And I think that rubs people the wrong way. They can't take that kind of criticism or even people thinking of them that way.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with that. Got to move on to the next call, Nays. But listen, I appreciate you calling. I don't think you've called before. I appreciate that. Got to move on to the next one. But yeah, listen, people lead in different ways. And that's why I said I'm 50-50 on Ben. I don't think he is the worst leader. But like I said, maybe the way he handles certain people that's just how he does. Whether we think it's right or wrong, that's just who he is. So, yeah, I agree with that. 267. You are live, 267. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you this time, Sam.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think what it is, man, and I have to realize I got to start telling everybody that I think is if I'm obviously going to be delayed a little bit if you're watching the stream. So, like, if you call, you probably just have to mute that and just listen on the phone. But, yeah, that's what it was. But what you got, man?
Yeah, I ranted last week. When I called in about the whole Ben thing, my opinion's not going to change on that. But I will say this: with all the people that are piling on top of him with all this stuff, even why is their leadership not being put into question? So we're talking about people with that are making the money, the ABs and the Bells that are winning these massive contracts and guaranteed money, but they're not acting like those kind of players. Those high players, those high-ranking players, we expect them to be leaders. Are either one of them showing any leadership skills in this whole scenario?
That's a good question.
We should be a little bit more critical of the people laying the blame versus the person that they're trying to put the blame on. Another thing that I'm just looking at your topics down in the description. Artie Burns, I think he's gone, man. I think when we got that corner off free agency, he's gonna be our number 2. There's nobody on our roster that is a better corner than him. He's going to be number 2 day one, and I think with what Artie's shown us over the course of the last 3 years, unless he somehow just does a complete 180 with his psyche and gets his confidence back, I don't think he can beat out anybody on the roster. I really don't. And with that many corners, you're going to have to get rid of one at least. It might be time to move on. And I love. I know a lot of us pretty much thought that Keith Butler was probably going to be the outside linebackers guy, but now that it's confirmed, I've actually been an advocate for it. I mean that's where we know and love him from. I mean, that's where he made his name, was with the linebackers. So I think that was actually a great idea to have a proven man who knows how the position's supposed to be played at outside, who's coaching the scheme already, who made the scheme work when Dick LeBeau was around. I think this is a great move. And plus you're going to be taking the secondaries off his back, because the other coach that they brought in, I mean, Tomlin did say that during his press conference that his primary role was going to be with the secondary. He's going to be an assistant, and he's going to have other, but primarily be working with the secondary. So I think this is actually, I think Tomlin's doing what he's always done. He's delegating. He's making sure that workloads aren't. I think these are good coaching moves. I do. I truly do. I've been critical. I know. Kenyon is probably going to go up in arms, so I apologize to him up front for saying this, but myself included in this, I think we all need to sit back and lighten up a little bit on Butler, maybe. As we've all been able to come down on the season, you mentioned it a couple months ago in a video. You know, our defense has progressively gotten better.
They have.
With less and less talent. You know, even you said that. So, I mean, is it really that much on his shoulders to put the blame on, or is this more of a talent issue? You know, so I think Tomlin. I think if they really thought that he was to blame for this, they would have got rid of him. I know they don't typically fire coaches, but if he really was the man to point to, I think they would have got rid of him. But I think they're making coaching changes to make it easier for them to work on each area of the defense instead of just taking apart the defense and saying, let's start from scratch.
Good point, man. And I appreciate the call. Sorry for cutting you off there, man. I got to move on to the next call. We got like 5 more in the queue, and I can't be on much longer, so we got to speed through it. But you're absolutely right. I think delegating the responsibilities and the duties, perfect. Okay, and that's probably a easy way, a light way to say, hey, we're not firing the guy. We're just going to give him some more help. So, you know, Steelers are very sneaky in that way of doing things. But let's move on, man. We got area 240-909-215 and 412, and then we'll be out of here after that. So let's get in, let's get out. 240, I believe, is my brother Tony. Tony, what's going on tonight, man?
Hey, brother. You know, first of all, I want to say, from the words of our beloved father-in-law, Artie Burns, is a bum.
Exactly.
He calls everybody a bum. But I'm gonna try to get through this like real quick. Something came across my mind as you guys were talking, and I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I believe that now. I just want to lay this down. I believe that a leader should lead by example. Now, you know me. With Roethlisberger, I'm always on him. I always say he was never a cerebral quarterback. He's a playground quarterback. With that saying, is that I think that Roethlisberger could. I'm gonna ask the question. Like, okay, for an example, you ever listened to like some of the when we talk to our mother-in-law, father-in-law, they talk about different times. You know, what they did when they were younger, coming up, and you look at the generation behind. Could you look at Roethlisberger maybe he's looking at it like that? Okay, you look at AB, like the brother said before that, how are they becoming good leaders? Because, okay, you look at Antonio Brown having Facebook Live in the middle of a playoff.
Wow.
Okay, you know what I mean? You have Le'Veon Bell. There's nothing wrong with the rap video, but are you giving much attention to details? Okay, are you honing on your craft? You know what I'm saying? We know AB is a hard worker, but it was always stuff that was going on with AB. Now, here's something else that I want to ask you. You're coming from a different administration. Bill Cowher, when he came up under Bill Cowher. Now, you know me, I'm a Bill Cowher man. I like Tomlin. But I guess because of, the way that I grew up as a disciplinary, type of way that people did things. Today, you can't do that with these young millennials. They kind of think different.
Yeah.
So maybe, you look at Ben Roethlisberger, he's like 7 years old, 10 years older than Le'Veon Bell, 7 years older than AB. I mean, they like kids, you know what I mean? He's trying to be professional. He's trying to do things according to detail. So when remember you heard something in practice that Antonio Brown are not running his route the way he was supposed to. Maybe he's seeing that they're not doing things according to detail. Maybe he's a little frustrated with the administration of Tomlin not correcting himself, where he's used to a different administration with Cowher. You know me. We both watched Cowher. Cowher didn't play no games.
Yeah, you're right.
And people lined up, and we were winning. It was no game. We looking at something totally different with Tomlin, of how he administrates things. I'm not saying that and neither one of them, one is better than the other, but he's used to doing a certain thing. He's trying to be a professional quarterback, and then you have all of these teams around you. I'm not taking away from them doing, the rap or, other things that they're involved with, but you're seeing a lot of things around him that, you know what I'm saying, is not translating into winning, or it's you know what I mean? It's just a lot of other stuff that brings attention to themselves. And, he, even though he has to, as a leader, I believe, he has to walk by an example and not put everything out in the open and on his radio show and not be, not do that. But I guess going back to what I was saying was, could it be, I'm not going to say a culture thing, but by him being a little older than him and coming under a different administration, maybe it's kind of tough him seeing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I see it at work all day long with my coworkers.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working at 20 years. And then these youngsters come in and they want to change the way you do things. But it's not helping you. It's hurting. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Nah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. Just the other day, and then I'll grab the next call. But just the other day when I went into work last Friday, I'll be having to tell some of the younger ones, they come in the office. I mean, we in an official office building in Washington, D.C., a corporate building. They come in walking in there, headphones blasted, and I pull them to the side, be like, yo, don't do that. And I was like, look, be yourself, but you gotta, man, don't give people a reason to judge you from afar for no reason. But that's, like you said, like I come up in an era where, present yourself well when you're in certain situations. Be yourself, but don't give nobody a reason to judge you from the outside. They shouldn't be doing that, but, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, people working.
Right.
Well, start walking through the hall like that, so, yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It could be that just being, I'm sorry to hold you up, it's just being, probably seeing all that, and it's like driving him crazy because it's like, and I'm not taking anything from him, but if you look at Ben, it's probably driving him crazy because Tomlin is like, okay, y'all just, you your own man, you're a football player, and Ben is not like, maybe he's not like used to that. Maybe he's, you know what I'm saying? So it's frustrating. So when he get on his radio show, he's saying stuff. He's trying, and he's doing it passive aggressive, but he has to do better with that, though. You know what I mean? So I'm just asking that question. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, you're absolutely right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and move to the next call, Tony. I appreciate you, man. We always talking offline, me, you, and Kenyon. So, but that's a great point. Generational gap. Hey, I never looked at it like that in terms of even him and Tomlin, the way the regime is ran. So you might have a good point there. Again, we all just speculating, giving our opinions, but it sounds like a good one to me. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up with 909-215-412 and 912. So if you're listening, I can't take any more calls beyond those 4. I'm going to try to get these ones really quick, so let me stop yapping and get to the action. Area code 909. What you got for us?
Sam, can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
That's what I like to hear, Sam. I always try to call in, but you always start the show on my way to school, so today I got here a little early so I could talk to my man, Sam.
Oh, man, that's what's
Sam,
up. Appreciate it.
At number 20, people say they want to drive down. I don't think so. I feel like Pittsburgh should just stay while they're at. Don't get me wrong. Both Devons, I love them. I love them on tape. But honestly, I feel like we need help at the corner position. We need to get one of the good young bucks out there,
Yeah.
Like Kenyon said the other day, as much as I love Joe Hayden, he cannot be our number 1. And like how you said a couple weeks back, Steven Nelson, when we signed him, you're kind of like, meh, okay, all right. I feel like if we get one of these good corners in the first round, I still feel like either Mac Wilson or that other cat out of Clemson, what's his name, Trey Lamar, something like that.
Yeah, Trey Lamar, I believe his name is.
I still feel like we could get someone, but I definitely feel with Cleveland making upgrades at the wide receiver position, we're gonna need some talent on the outside.
Great point, man. Because again, you know, I gotta do my homework and look at some more film. But you know, the guys on Steelers Depot keep referencing this guy David Long from West Virginia, and they were saying, you know, if you look at how he plays, he has more explosive plays than Bush, and you could probably get him later. So
absolutely,
I can agree with you, man. Because again, Nelson is relatively young, 26, but Joe Hayden, I mean, he's turned 29. I think he turns 30 this year. Last year of his contract.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
One more thing, Sam. One more thing. Not that he's in the news, but Alejandro Villanueva, I feel like, what do you think about him? I feel like as an opposing player, I feel like nothing but respect. I feel like before the game, after the game, you would have to personally go out of your way to meet him and talk to him and let him know how much, you know, you're grateful for serving our country. But I feel like he's honestly a monster at the position.
I like Villanueva, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the next call. I appreciate you calling, man. And, hey, man, school. I don't want to keep you away from school. Don't let me do that. But I appreciate you calling. I'm glad you're able to get in. I like Big Al. I think Big Al has progressed. Looking from where he came from, he plays very well for us. You know, does he get beat here and there sometimes? Yes, but what tackle doesn't? Plus, coming from a 6'8", 6'9" frame, that's going to be hard for him. But I think he has turned into an outstanding tackle. Listen, I like Big Al. And again, you know, you never hear anything crazy about him. Seems to be a family man. There you go. Leading by example. 215, what you got for us, man? You're live.
Hey, Sim, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
So I got a statement to make and two quick questions, and the one's a yes or no for you.
Oh yeah.
So the whole Big Ben thing, right? So put yourself in his situation. I mean, I know he makes millions of dollars. He's a pro athlete, you know, but he's 37 years old, right? So could you imagine being at work at your age and then working with people like, for example, James Washington is 22 years old. He has, 15, 16 years on him. So could you imagine the differences in likes and dislikes, like in attitude? And it's hard to be around kids all the time.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? So people not realizing that he's an old grown man, like playing with kids. Like literally they're kids at the end of the day. So people knock him for that. I mean, I know he should have a better attitude because he's older and he makes a lot of money. I mean, but it's hard, I guess. I mean, he's a great athlete and all that stuff.
I agree.
So, another question for you. What's this whole thing about Mike Hilton? Is he gonna be a Steeler next year or no?
Well, to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but I think Hilton is still under contract. I think. From what I'm hearing, you know, he's basically thinking that he might deserve some more money, and rightfully so. However, he didn't have the best season last year. His last year's season wasn't the same. Hurt. Yeah, that's true. But, you know, he didn't have that. I think we all thought he was going to be a monster last year coming off the year before. But I think he's recognizing as well that, I mean, I don't know this to be fact, but he probably is looking around the cornerback room. He knows how important he is. He is our starting nickel corner. So, you know, I think it's just a situation where he's thinking about, okay, you know, I'm looking to get a contract done. But I think he's under contract, but he's getting paid really low, like $600,000 or $700,000, something like that.
$628,000 for the year.
Yeah, so that's all it is, man. Business, just like Sean Davis. I don't know if you saw this. Sean Davis is now signed with Rosenhaus as his. You know, he dropped his agency and now he's with him because it's basically monkey see, monkey do. No pun intended, folks. So don't get upset there. But what I'm saying is, you know, he understands, okay, I see how you get the money. I'm going to go here and we're going to leverage that situation. So that's all it is. I'm not mad at Hilton, but I think he'll be a Steeler for sure.
Okay. And this last question, it's a yes or no answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Antonio Brown, I mean, I'm going back to Antonio Brown. Sorry to bring him up. But do you feel he's a Hall of Fame player, do you feel when he goes to the Hall of Fame, does he put any Steelers attire in his locker after all he's doing to Pittsburgh right now? And how he talks about him. Like he's like beyond like disrespecting the entire team. Like I know things get brushed over after time, but I mean usually players don't do what he's doing.
So
like, I had some respect for him, but I'm over that guy. Like, this dude is crazy.
Yeah, man. I don't think so, man. That's a tough one. Like, even me personally, I feel like, you know, I had an Antonio Brown. You know, I didn't have an actual jersey, but I had a shirt that had his number. It looked like a jersey, and I can't wear it no more. I mean,
yes, I'm saying. Like,
I'm just that crazy of a fan. Yeah.
Did you see what he said about Juju today?
Oh, no. What did he say?
Juju, you know, Juju gave Ben credit.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Browns came back and said these young players who haven't gotten paid yet are going to kiss ass basically just to get a paycheck and just to stay in the league for right now to be happy. So he's going to say, basically, he's like a scapegoat. Like, how you throw Juju under the bus like that? Like, he did that today at like 3:30 on Twitter.
See, that's the kind of stuff that I hate, man. And I appreciate you calling, man. I got to move on to the last 2 calls so we can get out of here. But see, I got to comment on that. I don't like the way he's handling the situation. So no, I'm not a fan of Antonio Brown anymore. I mean, not that he cares about me, but I don't follow him anymore on social media. Because again, I'm still a fan. I like people who like to be there. Even when you play with other teams, I still rock with you, you know, if I liked who you were as a player. But I don't like the way AB is handling it. And this, to me, is proving that there was a little jealousy there between him and Juju. And I don't know if it's because the ball wasn't coming his way and Juju kind of got caught in the crossfire between him and Ben. But that's sucker stuff, man. You know, if you all about team and you're supposed to be this good guy, leave Juju alone. Let Juju do his thing. You know what I mean? Let him be that kid that ain't got paid yet. Whatever. All right, last call of the night, man. Area code 912. You are live. What you got for us?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, much. Hey, I was going to let you know, I don't know if any of the rest of you guys has heard this, but I heard what happened with the situation with Antonio and Roethlisberger is there was this comment on social media where somebody had said something about Roethlisberger back when he was with that rape allegation. And I think where it all went downhill is they said that Brown went on that comment and liked it. And I reckon that's where it's all started. That's probably where it all started going downhill with him and Ben. But I heard that on one of these sports shows.
So he liked the comment about Ben's rape allegations. Oh man, that's crazy. Wow.
So I think that's where it all started going downhill.
Yeah, you might have a point. I mean, because I think what we all forget, you know, and it should be a very obvious statement, but we all human. You know, as much as we want to be honorable and be teammates and co-workers, I mean, somebody says something out of the way about you or a situation, like, you're going to have a feeling towards them. And you never know. I mean, we all men. We know how it goes. If AB really did that, Ben might have took that a certain way. And because think about it. We don't know if it's true, but think about some of the things he said this year. When have we ever heard Ben say AB has to run a better route? Or, I wish we would have thrown the ball to Juju 4 times. Huh? You're talking about him and AB. So I would believe that story. I definitely would believe that. It was something personal between those two. Because Ben just was out of character, in my opinion, a little bit towards the things that he openly said about AB, which we've never heard him really do that. He usually sticks up for Antonio Brown. Right. So, yeah, you might have a point there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll let you go, Sam.
All right, man.
I appreciate your show.
Oh, man, I appreciate you as well. Appreciate the call, man. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. You know, I'll go ahead and say this, and I don't think there's no shame in it. Let me go ahead and disconnect the calls here. Guys, I think we're all a bit long-winded when it comes to the Steelers. We like to talk, so I try to keep the calls short, but when you guys come on and you're saying good stuff, I let you roll. But I think what we probably will have to do going forward, we're starting to get a lot of calls now, so we're going to have to start cutting it back a little bit, but we'll get better at it. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me as I'm patient with you all, and we'll get a nice flow going here pretty soon. I'm going to wrap up here, guys, at 8:30. It's 8:28 right now, so let me just look in the chat really, 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 really quick. Give me just a hot second here. What y'all got, man? AB is a great receiver, but he's a clown. Why Dicky? Darius Carter says, what happens when you give a clown money, he turns into a bigger clown? Yeah, I've heard that before. Renegade Tony says, thanks for the show, Sim. Always top-notch and great, man. Listen, appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Russ Obenstein says, what's up, guys? AB is the biggest sellout ever now. Friending Burfict. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And yeah, I'm glad you said that. I didn't like his comments about Burfict. Basically saying it's water under the bridge. Nah, not like that. You needed to say, look, we had our differences. You know, I felt a certain way about him at the time. We'll see how things are going to be going forward. But don't say what you said. Like, come on, man. Like, that was a little too PC for me. CC233186 says, one of the best ways to get out a contract or job is to act out of a crazy and disruptive. Antonio did that, mainly more guaranteed money, not so much about Ben. I fully agree. Antonio played the Steelers like a fiddle, man. Lance Watson says, Sim, does Brown get his 1,000 yards this year? Nope. I don't think so. Possibly, but I don't think so. Listen, Antonio Brown is still a great, 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 outstanding receiver. Maybe still the best in the league. But listen, Derek Carr has struggled. You know? He has struggled. I don't know if Antonio Brown fixes that. We shall see. And last comment of the night, guys, then I'm going to go ahead and go. Smitty753 says, Bill Cowher is more of the players coach than Mike Tomlin. If you ask some of the local Pittsburgh reporters, they will tell you that. Okay. Now that's an interesting dynamic. I've never heard that. You always hear that Tomlin is the players coach. So listen, I don't live in Pittsburgh, so I always, you know, bow down to the opinions coming out of the city. You know, obviously those people have more of a feel and a heartbeat of the city than we do. You know, I live in Pennsylvania, but I don't live in Pittsburgh. So I bow down and digress to that. So, but all right, man, let me get out of here, man. I've talked to you guys for about an hour now. It was great. It was fun. I held off dinner for you guys, so I've got to go. But of course, man, if anything else breaks, even if it doesn't, I'm going to try to get another show in at some point this week. My parents are coming into town Friday and over the weekend, so can't confirm it. But if there's anything that we must talk about, I'll come back in. Maybe after I take a look at David Long, you know, look at more of his tape. Maybe I'll, you know, do a pop-up show and give my thoughts on him versus Bush, et cetera, et cetera. There's other things I wanted to talk about there, but the show kind of went in a different direction. But anyway, love you guys. Appreciate everything you do. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification button so you know when the next video is, and also do that right there. Hit that like button, like the video. It should be way more than 24 likes. You know, that's me pumping up my own video. But all right, man, y'all be easy. And thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Be blessed. Have a good night. Be safe. And we'll catch you next time. All right? Peace.